recording. After that I will start here as well for safe side. Okay, so see, text alternative. Suppose that you have created, okay, image dimension. I have shown you how you can calibrate or manipulate the size of image in your particular what, in your particular web page, right? Now today suppose that you are going to create, suppose I will try to present it over what I will say. I'm going to present it office.com. Just a moment please. Okay, so here I will be coming this PowerPoint. It is the name of this PowerPoint, it is going to be, or just suppose that. Or leave it. For today I will not use it. See, suppose that you have created a web page. Okay. You have created a web page and you are going to write something. Okay, you have written what, HTML codes. Here you have written what, HTML codes. Suppose that it is some page demo.html or any HTML demo.html. Okay, now your browser is going to open it, right? You are going to tell your browser that you want to open it. Okay, I have this document in a what, you have a particular browser. So this is the browser. I will tell it, it is a browser. Okay, and you are opening this particular page by making use of this browser. Okay, by making use of this particular browser. So this is by making use of. Now say that right now we are writing the code, right? We are writing the code, and here what I will be using, I will be saying, I will be opening the VS code here. So I will be opening the VS code and we will be going at that particular place. 11 and 12 was it. So I will be saying links.html or images.html. This was the file. So what I am going to do, I will be saying this is the page, right? So I will be saying snip, and here first I will be opening it. So this was the page, right? It is complete page, and I will be saving in my particular mon9. We will create class 13, and here inside it I am going to save it with I will say a document. Okay, document website. Okay, document website I have saved. Now we have this particular document website. So what I will be doing, I will be saying picture here. So how to, okay, so I will be saying copy and I will paste it here. Okay, and now I will try to reduce the size. Suppose that this is particular page, right? This particular page you are opening to a browser. So the browser, how it is showing to this page, so this browser is showing, I will show open live server. this is showing like this, right? This is showing something like this, so I will snip it as well. So I will say new. After that I will copy this. I will copy from here and I'm going to paste it here. After pasting it here, I will try to reduce the size. So after reducing the size, it is something, it is showing like this. Hello. Yes guys, am I audible now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
sorry, I was dropped due to network connectivity. So I will share my screen again.
Yes, sir.
So see, this is particular. I will erase those things. So I am going to erase those things. Okay, so this is the browser, how it is going to look. Okay, but one thing I just want to ask, that how this browser is able to read it, okay, or how it is only showing in English, not in other language. How is it is understanding the document has been written in English, not in any other like Hindi or Tamil or Kannada, not in any other language. How it is understanding it, or how to tell that the document which I have written, okay, which I have written, it contains only English language. How to tell to the browser? Now, to tell this to the browser, we use what? An attribute to the HTML element. Okay, what is that attribute? That attribute we use is called lang. Okay, lang. We use what? HTML. Okay, after that we use a attribute called lang, and in lang we define what? A short code, or you can say that uh, encoded character of what? This English language. This en refers to what? English. This en refers to English, and it is tag of English language. By seeing this, your browser is going to conclude that the document is written in English, right? So this particular says what? It says to the browser, it says to the browser what it says? It says that the document is written in English. The document is written in English. So what I am going to say? I'm going to say that document is written in English, right? After that, what I'm going to do, I will just crop it. I will just crop it, paste there, crop. I will save it, and what I am going to say, so we will open this here 13th. I will say lang attribute, lang attribute. Fine. See, that's what I am trying to say here. Okay, that's what here I am trying to say here. So here what I am saying, that how you can say that a particular document is written in English. So to tell that, we are going to make use of lang attribute of HTML tag. Okay, and it can be shown. I will be showing you. I will try to include this particular image. Okay, this particular, oh, this particular image I am going to include, right? By seeing this, your web page understands that that document is written in English. But how to tell? For English, we come to know that the sub tag is en, or the code is en, right? We use country code like en. But what about any other language like Philippines, Chinese, or some Arabic? What are the codes of those things? So don't like break your head. I have a link. You just need to go to that particular link, and you can get what this is subtag. So this is the country name. So the country name is Afghazian, and for Afghazian language, you have AB as a what is its language what code. Okay, its language code. And in the same way, for different languages, you have what different code or language code. You can embed in what in your HTML, so that to tell the browser that you have written in that particular language as well. To tell that browser that you have written in that particular language as well. Okay, now after that, suppose that you have written, suppose that here you have written. Now the each character, for example, each character, how those each character is going to be converted over browser. See, a character set is kind of like a digital alphabet of our browser. Okay, whenever we try to see a character set on browser, then it is a form of what digital alphabet. Now these digital alphabets, or you can say that you can see these. Okay, these are what? These are digital alphabets. These are called what? These are called character sets. Okay, now it's different from, like it's different from what language of our document. The language of our document is what? English. Now in English there are several character sets. Okay, this T H I S, those are called as character sets. So these character sets, you can say that how the letter themselves are rendered, how this T is forming on the browser, or T is being fetched in the browser. Okay, so they themselves are rendered, not the language of the content. Okay, they are rendered by themselves. Now let's suppose that, let us copy this thing. Suppose that, let us come here and let us copy this thing in our what, in our extra.html file. I will say I am making use of different character set. I will copy this. I will come in our particular website. I will say that copy this one. After copying, paste in our what, paste in this HTML, sorry, class 13. After that, I will come in miscellaneous extra.html, and after that, I will try to copy what? I will copy this particular character, different character set, and I will paste it here. Okay, I'm going to paste it here. I will say, yeah, fine. Now, how it is going to look? See, if I am going to open this particular server, see how it is looking here. How it is fetching these characters, how it is fetching. Okay, so see, we are not sure how exactly it is fetching, but the above, you can say that whenever we are going to see in the browser, we are going to see some of the weird stuff, or weird stuff such like thing. This we cannot able to read what exactly it is been written, right? So each character set has its own meaning. Okay, each character set has its own meaning. Here you can see that it has some of the weird stuffs. So what I will do, I will snip this. So here you can see this. These are, I will copy this thing. Will come here, new, and here I will paste it, and you can see that these are some of the weird stuff. BIR can be read here, right? But those are, I will say, those cannot be identified by the browser, or I will say it IKE. See, these are some of the weird stuffs. You can say that these are what? These are weird stuff which we are not able to identify. So it is uh, weird stuff. okay, which we are not able to identify. See, that's because the default character set, that's because what, because the default character set of most of the browser doesn't accommodate these special characters. They don't know about these special characters. Okay, to fix this we need to specify, we need to specify that we are going to use a encoding, okay, a encoding concept in our web page, which is going to render all the characters set on our browser, okay, on our browser. So here, to know about this, I will have to tell that I need to use what, we can use UTF-8 to count it in what, Turkish, to count in Turkish. So tick is what, 3 in Turkish, and dot is what, 4 in Turkish, and base is what, 5 in Turkish. So UTF-8 is what, a encoding mechanism for the character set in our web page, for the character set in our web page. Now to fix this, what we need to do, we need to specify uh, that we want our web page to make use of this UTF-8 encoding. How we can do that? So to do this, we need to include what, we need to include UTF-8 encoding in our meta page. Okay, UTF-8 encoding in our meta page. So before that, I will be showing you what I will do. I will crop this. I'm going to crop this and I will save this here, and I'm going to say what, I will say uh, content, okay, content encoding, okay, content encoding, yeah. After that I will fetch it here, I will say content encoding. Fine. See how we are going to make use of this character encoding. See, this character encoding must be inside head section of our HTML web page. Okay. So I will come here and inside head just below title, I am going to say that head. After that, apart from this, we know a lang. Okay. Lang, and here, not here, here in HTML, I am going to say I am going to make use of lang, and this will be containing English. Okay, and now in English I am using UTF-8 encoding. I am using what, UTF-8 encoding. Now if I'm going to come here, okay, now if I'm going to come here and reload it, what you are going to say, that now the browser is going to understand, now your browser is going to understand that those are the character of what, Turkish. Okay, those are the character of what, Turkish. Before, the browser what was not able to understand those things, but now your browser is going to understand that, okay, you are going to use what, you are making use of Turkish language here, or Turkish character set, not language. Like mind it that character set and language are completely different. Okay, there are different character set, and different languages make use of different character sets to express their contents. Okay, so one of more important things, you will not able to see the UTF-8 on the web page. Why? Because you have added that UTF-8 in the head section, and whatever you are going to write inside head section, those are not part of your web page, or those are not part of what, or part of visible part of your web page, sorry. Okay, those are some of the properties which makes effect in your web page, but not visible to other users. Okay, so this is the use of what, UTF-8, or you can say UTF-8 is sort of like a universal alphabet for the internet. Okay, every web page you can you create should have this line in head tag. Suppose that this is a particular, for example, this is what, a React website. Okay, now I will inspect this page and I will show you this will also contain UTF-8. This is the coding of this particular website. Okay, now if I will come here, you can see that UTF-8 meta character set, it is making use of making use is what, character UTF-8, right? character set it is making use of is what? UTF-8, right? Now if I will see that it is of English, it is of English, it is the content of this website has been written in English, right? So this is what you should care about. Now after that there is some HTML entities as well. There is some HTML entities as well. What is HTML entities here? See, there are some reserved symbols in HTML which has some special meaning. In other languages, we call it as reserved words. Okay, in other language, we call it as what? Some reserved word. So in HTML also, there is some special character which cannot be represented as a plain or as a normal text. Whenever you are going to write those text, then those text meaning is going to come by default by HTML. Okay, so what are those characters? So most important are these less than. It symbolizes or it represents that you are beginning a tag. Okay, after that greater than, it tells that you are ending your tag. Okay, after that ampersand, it tells that you are setting off a particular HTML entity. It means that you are creating an HTML entity. Those are reserved character of HTML. Okay, those are what? Reserved character of HTML, which you cannot use by your own self because their meaning has already been defined. Okay, suppose that let us add this line. Okay, there's let us add those entities in our extra.html file. So I will copy this, or I will copy from here, and I'm going to make use, I will say paste it here. Okay, paste it here, tab, fine. I will say paste it here. After that I will try to open this particular page. I will try to open this particular page. See, here you can see that less than, greater than. Okay, less than, greater than. See, in like generally if you are going to directly write less than, greater than, then it will be giving some other behavior here. But to write less than on greater than, you need to make use of what? HTML entities. And how you have created that HTML entity? By making use of this entity. Here you have written ampersand LT after that semicolon. Each HTML entity should start with ampersand. Each HTML entity should start with what? Ampersand, and it should end with what? Semicolon. So this LT entity tells that I am going to create a lesser than character. I am going to create a lesser than character, and this GT entity is going to tell that I am going to create a greater than character, and this AMP is going to tell that I am going to create a ampersand character. Okay, so these entities are not restricted to only those three. Okay, there are huge like list of different entities, HTML entities, which you can create of. Okay, if you are not aware about that, no, don't worry, I have a link. You can just refer to this particular link, and you can know all the different what. This is the link by going through which you can get to know about different what entities in what? In HTML, and you can create all those symbols in your web page by making use of those entities. Ampersand has 219 semicolon, or ampersand u circ semicolon. Those are some of the things. So I will say I want to make use of it. I will copy this, and I will come here, and I will say, instead of this I will say paste. Okay, I will say paste. Now I am going to see here. Now I want to see here. See, you should always, you can see that particular character rendered here. So the HTML entities can be created by making use of what? Ampersand and semicolon, and the reserved words which can be used to create that particular character set. Okay, now now what you need to do here, there are one more thing, codes. Okay, you must have seen codes. What exactly code is? See, notepad. Okay, you might be aware about this single state codes. Okay, this single state codes. The, there is other curly codes as well. So how to create that curly codes in HTML? Okay, curly codes are by no means necessary. See, curly codes are no by means it is not that much necessary. But if you care, if you care very much about what typography, then we will. There will be what? There will be some of the most common HTML. There will be what? Some of the most common HTML entities we will be using. Okay, so mostly the most important quotes, curly quotes are what? These can be made by making use of those entities. What are those? So LD quotes, RD quotes, LS quotes, and RS quotes. Okay, so these are called what? State codes. These are called state codes, and these are like mean for creating different codes. Okay, I will try to show you. See, here I am making use of RS codes. Okay, RE into web. So if I will be copying this and I will be pasting in our extra.html file. I will be copying this and I will be pasting it in our extra.html file. Okay, no, I haven't copied this. So I will be copying from here and I will be pasting here. Fine. Now if we will go in our extra page, see, you can see that first we have made use of what? We have make use of suppose that RD codes. Okay, LD codes. So LD codes means, see, LD codes means these curly codes you are going to make use of. Okay, and if you are going to make use of RD codes, okay, RD codes, then this is the code which you will be seeing. This is the codes which you will be seeing. After that, if you have used, make use of what? Make use of RDQ codes. Okay, RDQ codes, then this is the thing which you are going to get. This is the thing which you are going to get. After that, if you are going to make use of RSQ, okay, RSQ codes, then this is the thing which you are going to get. This is the thing which you are going to get. So these are some of the examples which, see, don't confuse. Simply these are mean for creating different types of code. This is what? Simple HTML entity which you need to make use for creating different kinds of quotation mark. Okay, so unlike straight codes, these curly code entities should hug the text each other. So you can see that I have shown you that what exactly the difference between a straight code and curly codes are. Curly code will be little bit curly, such that it will look like it is hugging the content which it is enclosing inside it. Okay, now you might be like, olden days there was what? There was no UTF-8 character set. Okay, so due to lack of UTF-8 character set, we were abstracted to use what? Different characters. We were not able or capable to use what? Several characters which we are now making use of. Why we are now capable to make use of those things? We are capable to make use of those things because of what? UTF-8 character set. Because all those characters comes inside the what branch of what? UTF-8 character set only. Okay, so with this we have covered what? We have covered that how exactly we will be we will be structuring our web page, and how we are going to make use of what? Different font and different images as well. Okay, is it clear, guys? Now now we are going to start a new chapter. What is that? CSS. What is that? CSS. See, CSS is something which you should uh, okay, before that I have already introduced you about CSS. I would like to hear from you what exactly CSS is. Yes, tell me, guys. What exactly CSS is?
Cascading style sheets, sir.
A cascade inside that I am also able to see on my screen that it stands for cascading style sheet. But what exactly the meaning of CSS is in web development? Yes, I'm waiting for the answer, please.
It allows us to style the web page.
Yes, yes, perfectly. It allows us to style the web page. It means that it allows us to beautify. It allows us to beautify the page, right? Now,
Yes.
to beautify the page, already I have told you that whenever you are going to create a website, the structuring should be done by HTML and the design perspective should be done by CSS. So we can think CSS as what? As the definite, whatever we are going to define, the design perspective, all those should come inside CSS. All those should come inside CSS, right? So some of the example for CSS, what you can think about is like font size, what should be the margin of your web page, what should be the color of the page or font or what image or anything. So those things should be written making use of what? CSS, which stands for cascade style sheets, which stands for what? Cascade style sheets. Now you might have a question, why separate language? We can meet several requirements by making use of HTML, then why this CSS? So see, well, whenever we come to style and structure, those both are what? Two separate domains. So why those two separate domains? Because those are different perspective. So where HTML represents the content of the web page and the CSS, while the CSS defines how that particular content should be presented to the user, right? First, HTML says that how your content should be presented, presented on the web page, and CSS tells that how the how you are going to represent what? The content on the web page, and CSS tells that how that presentation can be modified and made more beautiful, okay, for the user. This fundamental distinction is central to what? Modern web development. Okay, that's why these two different domain we need to look into. Okay, now one more thing, CSS also provides the vocabulary to tell web browser things like, I want to make a heading to be really big. Okay, this what CSS tells. Okay, I want my sidebar to little bit narrow or little bit wider. These are the things which we tell by the help of what? CSS. Okay, HTML doesn't have terminology to make those kind of layouts, okay, or make those kind of decisions. All it can say is that I want heading, I want sidebar. That's it. Nothing more than that. Now, in this particular module, we will be exploring more about CSS syntax and CSS language. Okay. Now, first of the thing that okay, I have HTML page. Now, if I am going to write CSS, how we are going to make communication between both of them? Okay, how we are going to communicate between both of them? This is the thing which we are concerned about. See, as of now, our goal is not to become a CSS expert. So see, as of now, our main aim is not to be a CSS expert. We are here to be what? Full stack developer, not a CSS expert. Okay. So let's create what? A project here. Okay. Let's create a project called Hello CSS, and we are going to style an existing page. The page will be what? Hello css.html. Okay, so let us move here. Okay, let us move here inside what? Class 13, and inside 13 I will be creating a folder. I will be saying hello css folder. Inside this hello css folder, I will be having a file called hello css.html. Okay, and this file, it will contain what? This particular content. I will be pasting here. What are there? Simply it is now as a part of this, I have included here one more page called what, dummy.html. So I need to create one more file here called dummy.html. dummy.html. html. Okay, and now this, in this I have created content for this also. See, now you already know about all those things. What is body, what is h1, what is p, right? So I think I don't need to explain again those things. Yes, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, those things, do I need to define those things again? If
No need, sir. No.
Yeah, because unnecessary it will take time. See, there I have included one more page now, nowhere html. Okay, so I am going to create one more file called what, nowhere html. So I will create one more file called nowhere html. Okay, nowhere.html. Fine, this is what I have created. Now what I am going to do here, I have set up this. Now see, CSS style sheet resides in plain text file. Okay, CSS style sheets reside in a plain text file, and that plain text file should have extension of .css. That plain text file should have extension of what, .css. Okay, now let's create a new file called what, called style.css, called style.css. This is what I want to create. So inside here I will be saying that I want to create a file called style.css. The way I was telling that my HTML is going to save with .html, in the same way I'm saying that whenever I need to write a style sheet, I should create what, file which is going to have extension of what, .css. Okay, of what, .css. Now here what I will be doing, I will be saying that let's create some rule of css. Okay, as of now all the css rules for a particular page is going to reside in this file. Okay, is going to reside in this particular file. So before that I will just show you that how our page is going to what, how our page is going to look whenever we are going to work with what, html and css. Or suppose that, okay, let's leave that. Suppose here we are going to define what, we are going to write a rule. Okay, we are going to write a css rule. What css rule I am going to write, I will be saying that body. Okay, body. So after body I am going to say that my body is going to be color. It is going to be color something called, I will be using color something this type. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, this is the thing. I have told that body color should be red. This is what I have created a rule, that body color should be red. Now I will try to understand this complete thing. We will try to understand this complete thing, what is written where, what is written where. So see, I will copy this. Okay, I will copy this. Sorry, I will copy this and we will move to paint. Okay, we will move to paint and we will say paste here. Okay, we are going to say paste here. Okay, and now here we will try to see all the things. I will say increase the, yes. So see, we will try to analyze each of these things. Okay, each of these things. For that, I will try to increase the spaces between them. Okay, spaces between them. See, this is CSS rule. This complete is what? A complete CSS rule. And here, this body is what? This body is particular selector. Okay, this body is what? Selector. By specifying body, you are selecting the body of your web page. It is what? It is selector. It is selector. So I will be telling selector. Okay, or I will be writing here. Oh, I will be saying this is what selector of your particular page. This is selector. Fine. By using this only, you are selecting the body of your page. Fine. Now this is color, right? This color, what this color is, this color is property which you want to set for that selector. This color is what property for which you want to select that particular. I will be telling that this particular property, this is what property, okay, property for which you are giving the value, okay, property of that particular selector. So this one selector, okay, this one selector. After that, this is what, this is a value, this is what value for that particular property, value for that particular property. So this is going to be value, okay, this is going to be value, okay. So this is going to be value, okay. So it is value, and I will enclose this. See, now this semicolon tells that this property ends, okay, this property ends here, okay. So this semicolon is tells that your property is ended, and this selector tells that I have selected the body and now I am creating a rule for that particular body, okay. And this complete thing is called a CSS rule. This complete thing, it is called a particular CSS rule, okay, CSS rule, okay. This is a single CSS rule how you are going to create. So I will crop this and I will save it by saying CSS rule, okay. After this, we will come here, select this CSS rule, right. Now see here, color is what, it is a built-in property defined by CSS specification. Specification whose work is what, it determines the color of whatever element have been selected. So here you have selected body, okay, here you have selected body, so it will select the body, okay. It accepts what, hexadecimal value representing a color. So here the hexadecimal value is what, red, it means what, bright red. Now CSS property are kind of what, HTML attribute only, okay, where in attribute you were giving what, some LTR or some attribute property, and after that equal to, after that attribute value. In the same way here you are defining property and value. The property and value pair should be separated by a colon, okay. The respective property and value pair should be separated by a colon. And if you want to create multiple property for a particular selector, then you must include what, semicolon by between what, between two properties. This semicolon tells that here your property has been ended, here your property has been ended. I will try to show property ended, okay, property ended, which what tells, so this completion of property, okay, this one is very important, semicolon, it tells that property ended. Now you can see here, I have already like correlated that what exactly this property is. Now what we are going to say that we have created here. See, we have created here CSS and we have this hello.html as well. Now let me open this and try to see that if this particular CSS is making effect or not. No, I cannot see anything here, any changes in the file or any replication of that particular CSS rule which we have created here. What we have created here, we have created a rule saying that the body color should be red, but we are not able to see that. How we can see that? Actually, we haven't told that this style is going to make effect in our hello css.html file. So how to do that? Basically, I'm talking about that how we are going to link our CSS file to HTML so that those CSS rules can be implemented in our HTML file. How to do that? So to do that, we need to link that. Okay, link this CSS file to the HTML. So how to link a CSS style sheet? So we can link a CSS style sheet to a HTML page by making use of link element. Okay, it is a empty element. Okay, so this link element tells that okay, whatever you want to link to a particular HTML, provide me. Okay, so here see, I want to link a style sheet. This link contains a attribute called relevant. The full form of this rel is what? Relevant. So relevant content will be style sheet, and where you need to go to search that style sheet, you need to refer to stylesheet.css file. Okay, so this is what we need to paste in our HTML file, in our HTML file. So inside head already hello.css is there, so I will replace this head by that particular head, fine. So this is what I have told. Now I have told that now I have a style sheet which is residing here. Where? This here at the same directory, styles.css. Okay, style.css, sorry. Okay, now I have linked it. So now this style said that color. So what exactly it is saying? It is saying that all the text color of the body, okay, all the body text color should be red. All the body text color should be red. This is what rule which we have created. So let me come here again and let me reload it. Okay, let me reload it. So it's not reloading. Why? So let me see what mistake we have done. So here we have created a style.css and here we are calling styles.css. So let me say rename it and I will say styles. Okay, now if I'm going to come here, see all the body text color changed into red. Is it clear, guys? All the body
Yes, sir.
colors changed into red. So this is how you can create what? You can define several CSS rules how your contents are going to be presented in front of the user. Okay. And one more thing you can notice here that we have used what? This link tag inside head, because I don't want to show this link tag to the user. It is for our internal use. That's why I'm saying that I am declaring it inside head and it is an empty or self closing tag. Okay, so link tag contains two attribute. Relevant tells that the type of file I am linking to the HTML file, and href tries to tell that where that particular resource is located. Okay, so this is what link is. This is how you are going to link the CSS in your particular file. Okay, in your particular file. So here what are the things or how actually it is going to work, that thing I will be showing you tomorrow. Okay, here there will be one image I will be creating that will be showing you that how HTML and CSS combines together to form a browser. Okay, is it clear? Yeah,
Yes.
okay, fine.
Yeah, sir.
Rest of the thing we are going to see tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Good night, sir.